Right then, hello, good evening and welcome, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Paul, I'm also called Knickknack. I'm the brains, so help me God, behind Knickknack's Daily Teaser, a fun daily brain teaser quiz that you can find if you poke this little I button up here. I also talk about TV shows I've watched and films I've caught as well, so it's probably worth hitting the subscribe button just so you can see any of the reviews I do. Right at the moment, it's Monday the 2nd of August, it's 2021, and I have to confess I saw a film last night. I saw the 1994 film, Léon the Professional, and I wanted to tell you about it. Léon, the Professional, opens with a long shot of New York, rushing down a main road until the camera reaches Guido's restaurant in Little Italy, where old Tony, Danny Aiello, is talking to Léon, Shane Reno, about a job. Tony wants Léon to intimidate a rival, something Léon finds incredibly easy, as he always does. Afterwards, arriving back home at the block of flats he calls home, he meets Matilda, Natalie Portman, the troubled 12-year-old who lives next door, and his family is having more problems than she, or Léon, knows about. Her father stores cocaine for corrupt Drug Enforcement Agency agent Norman Stansfield, played by Gary Oldman. Bits of the current batch her father's holding have gone missing, and Stansfield isn't particularly happy about that and gives Mr. Lando, Matilda's father, until noon the next day to make good the difference, or else there's going to be problems. The next day, Matilda comes home, only to find Stansfield has killed every single other member of her family, except her. She'd gone shopping for the enigmatic Léon, who's seen what's happened through his front door's peephole. He's also seen Matilda knocking at his door. The only thing he can do to help is open the door and let her into his flat. That is where the trouble really starts. Now, I have to admit, it's been quite some time since I last saw Léon the Professional. Just over a decade, in fact. And I've got to admit that back in 2010, I remember thinking that Léon, as it was then called, was one hell of a movie. Impressive, but with possibly strange and not necessarily healthy undertones. From what I can remember of seeing it at the time, my perceptions were that there were slightly unhealthy overtones or undertones to Léon and Matilda's relationship that under normal circumstances would get frowned upon. An older man spending his time with a girl of 12 that he's not related to. I had the impression that the film was based on a novel, and that the novel was far nastier than the relationship was far nastier than the film shows us. However, ever since then, it's not something the novel that I thought existed is something I've been unable to find. So, of course, I've had to look at the film in a new light with a recent rewatch. I see it now as the relationship now as, of course, it's unhealthy. It's a relationship formed between a 12-year-old child who's seen her family shot and a kindly neighbour who may be able to help in unusual ways. It seems possibly benign is the nearest word I can use there. Either way, it's a relationship that Reno and Portman play with incredible depth and incredible passion, and with a believability I found utterly riveting. Needless to say, I found Gary Oldman as Stansfield, the film's antagonist, as equally riveting. I've seen him in a few things over the years, though I've still not seen his Oscar-winning performance in Darkest Hour, but for my current money, his performance as Stansfield is quite possibly one of the most watchably over-the-top villains I've seen him play. And far more restrained than his equally over-the-top appearances in the Hannibal Lecter film we did and in Fifth Element. Combine those performances with impeccable supporting casts, with superb writing, Besson's direction, and action sequences so well choreographed they hurt. You have, for my money, an absolute 4-star movie that I'm going to tell you to go and watch. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe for more content, and please take care of yourself. Have a good evening.